Oh, yes. It's springtime and time for me to bring my plants outside. I love this time of year. I put all my pothos under the tent this year. I learn something new every year. And so I put them under the tent because I did put a couple outside early, like a couple weeks ago, and thought, well, they're on the front porch. They're getting just partial sun, but that sun was still so hot that it burnt their leaves. So they do adapt if you put them, but if when you first put your plant out there in the you know, in the springtime, um, they have to adapt to the heat, to the being outside. And if you just throw them right into the sun, usually that's not a good thing. Now they do thrive. Some of them thrive because this is my jade pothos, and I put this out there last year, and it was about this size, and I just stuck it out on a thing and stuck it in a corner where it got some partial shade, and it just grew like crazy. And then it just grew a lot over the winter, which is unusual. Yeah, but all my pothos and my one philodendron, actually, yeah, because these are all pothos. This is a neon pothos, so these are all pothos. And and somebody asked me, well, why can't they take full sun? Well, where these plants come from is usually like in a they usually survive on the floor of the jungle or the forest or wherever, where they come from. And they're shaded by the trees, so they're never really in full sun. They grow, if you look at them in their natural habitat, if you see a pothos, it's a ground growing. It's like we would call ground cover here. That's what they are. They look like, you know. And then you have these plants, these calatheas, which will do well once it gets hot. But I just bought them, and so I'm acclimating. But that's what it is. They have to get acclimated to outside in the heat, and then you can get them in the sun. Some plants just love full sun right away. Like this is my oyster plant. Why they call it that, I do not know. It's beautiful. It vines all over the place. It's just wild and unruly. And as you see how it comes out in the front, that's because I had my grow light in the front, so it reaches for the light. So now that it's out here, it'll reach and fill all that in by the end of the summer. And my Hoyas, they don't do well in the winter. They don't grow much. I'm happy just to keep them alive. But by the end of the summer, this will be down to the floor. It'll just train all the way down, both of them. Yeah, my Birkin. This is a philodendron Birkin. They're pretty. I never had one before last year, and I'm shocked that they both made it through the summer. And my and the Sonai, you know, it's not. I'm not good at this. It lasted all winter, but it's so thin. It was like twice this size at the end of last summer, and I struggle with trying to figure out how to take care of that plant. So yeah, and I put, as you see, I do keep my umbrellas. See, I keep them covered because in the afternoon, that sun right there would come all the way over across the porch and it will burn them. So there's only a few plants that can really tolerate that. Like the snake plants, they like it because they come from the desert. And of course, any kind of cactus, love it. Other than that, not so much. So yeah, it's the beginning of spring and no tomato plants this year. Uh, yeah, I'm caretaking this year, people. That's what this year, that takes up too much time. Growing tomatoes and keeping my compost. That's a lot of extra work that I just do not have the energy for. Anyway, happy spring day.